Hey humans, welcome to Read to Me, Matt Dunn. I'm Matt Dunn. And I'm going to read to you. Frankenstein, Chapter 24, Part 2. My beloved sister, I write to you, encompassed by peril. Whoa, opening strong. And ignorant whether I am ever doomed to see again dear England, and the dearer friends to that inhabit it. I am surrounded by mountains of ice which admit of no escape, and threaten every moment to crush my vessel. The brave fellows whom I have persuaded to be my companions look toward me for aid, but I have none to bestow. There is something terribly appalling in our situation, yet my courage and hopes do not desert me. We may survive, and if we do not, I will repeat the lessons of my Seneca and die with a good heart. Yet what, Margaret, will be the state of your mind? You will not hear of my destruction, and you will anxiously await my return. Years will pass, and you will have visitings of despair, and yet be tortured by hope. Oh, my beloved sister, the sickening failings of your heartfelt expectations are, in prospect, more terrible to me than my own death. But you have a husband and lovely children, and you may be happy. Heaven bless you and make you so. My unfortunate guest regards me with the tenderest compassion. He endeavors to fill me with hope. And he talks as if life were a possession which he valued. He reminded me how often these same accidents have happened to other navigators who have attempted this sea, and in spite of myself, he fills me with cheerful auguries. Even the sailors feel the power of his eloquence. When he speaks, they no longer despair. He rouses their energies, and while they hear his voice, they believe these vast mountains of ice are molehills, which will vanish before the resolution of man. These feelings are transitory. Each day expectation delayed fills them with fear, and I almost dread a mutiny caused by this despair. September 5th. A scene has just passed as such uncommon interest that although it is highly probable that these papers may never reach you, yet I cannot forbear recording it. We are still surrounded by mountains of ice, still in immediate danger of being rushed into their conflict. The cold is excessive, and many of my unfortunate comrades have already found a grave amid this scene of desolation. Frankenstein has daily declined in health. A feverish fire still glimmers in his eyes, but he is exhausted, and when suddenly roused to any exertion, he speedily sinks again into apparent lifelessness. I mentioned in my last letter the fears I entertained of a mutiny. This morning, as I sat watching the wan countenance of my friend, his eyes half closed and his limbs hanging listlessly, I was roused by half a dozen of the sailors who desired admission into the cabin. They entered, and their leader addressed me. He told me that he and his companions had been chosen by the other sailors to come in deputation to me to make me a demand, which in justice I could not refuse. We were immured in ice and should probably never escape, but they feared if as was possible, the ice should dissipate, and a free passage be opened. I should be rash enough to continue my voyage, and lead them into fresh danger, after they might happily have surmounted this. They desired, therefore, that I should engage with a solemn promise that if the vessel should be freed, I would instantly direct my course southward. This speech troubled me. I had not despaired, nor had I yet conceived the idea of returning if set free. Yet could I, in justice or even in possibility, refuse this demand? I hesitated before I answered, when Frankenstein, who had at first been silent and, indeed, appeared hardly to have force enough to attend, now roused himself. His eyes sparkled, and his cheeks flushed with momentary vigor. Turning toward the men, he said, "What do you mean? What do you demand of your captain? Are you then so easily turned from your design? Did you not call this a glorious expedition? And wherefore was it glorious? Not because the way was smooth and placid as a southern sea, but because it was full of dangers and terror, because at every new incident your fortitude was to be called forth and your courage exhibited, because danger and death surrounded, and these dangers you were to brave and overcome. For this was it an honorable undertaking. You were hereafter to be hailed as the benefactors of your species, your names adored, as belongings to brave men who encountered death for the honor and the benefit of mankind. And now, behold, with the first imagination of danger, or, if you will, the first mighty and terrific trial of your courage, you shrink away and are content to be handed down as men who had not strength enough to endure cold and peril, and so, poor souls, they were chilly and returned to their warm firesides. Why, that requires not this preparation. Ye need not have come thus far, and dragged your captain to the shame of a defeat, merely to prove yourselves cowards. Oh, be men, or be more than men. Be steady to your purpose and firm as a rock. This ice is not made of such stuff as your hearts might be. It is mutable, cannot withstand you, if you say that it shall not. Do not return to your families with the stigma of disgrace marked on your brows. Return as heroes who have fought and conquered, and who know not what it is to turn their backs on the foe." He spoke this with a voice so modulated to the different feeling expressed in his speech, with an eye so full of lofty design and heroism, that can you wonder that these men were moved? They looked at one another and were unable to reply. I spoke. I told them to retire and consider of what had been said, that I would not lead them further north if they strenuously desired the contrary, but that I hoped that, with reflection, their courage would return. They retired, and I turned toward my friend, but he was sunk in languor and almost deprived of life. How all this will terminate, I know not, but I had rather died than return shamefully my purpose unfulfilled. Yet I fear such will be my fate. The men, unsupported by ideas of glory and honor, can never willingly continue to endure their present hardships. Okay. Just a lot of finite details with the end here. Getting them things done for... Oh my God. We are getting there. Oh yeah, get that stretch on. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, I just want to get it. Yeah. Oh, my ribs. Whew, if you wish for me to keep reading, please check out some more of my videos. I will have more of them every day. Every day. One more video. Boom, boom, boom. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Write me something. Hail to me. Hail to you. And I hope you have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Aye.